Before this video starts, I just want to say that we're trying something new on the channel, and in this video it's gonna be a tier list of all the Valorant maps taken from my Twitch stream. So I hope you enjoyed this video, even though it's not the usual tips and tricks video. I wanna try making some other content, so let me know what you guys think. Enjoy. Alright, so let's start off with the map we just played, Breeze. Honestly, I think it's pretty balanced, but it's just so open. There's so much, like, you can literally get killed from everywhere. I don't know, there's something about it that I don't really like. I think the map design in itself, like how it looks, I guess, like the aesthetic, I think that's really good. But I just don't quite like the openness of it fully. People say it plays like a CS map or whatever, which I don't know, like, I guess in a sense it's more CS than the other maps, because I mean the creator of Cash created it, right? Cash from CS, if you played CS, you recognize that, but I'm not sure if it plays like that much as a CS map. I'd probably put it somewhere like, when I get it, do I mind it? I quite do, but I don't think it's D. I think it's like C, honestly. I don't like it, but I don't think it's like, yeah, I don't like it. I don't hate any map in the game though. I don't hate any map, so I think it's like C. I think that's a fair spot. Now let's take the next one. Let's take Ascent. I think this is the best map. I think it's super balanced. I think whether you start as an attacker or defender, it's really fun. It's always, the rotations are quick, or pretty quick at least. I think any site is retakeable. I think both sides are viable to hit. I think mid is quite fun. It offers like a good amount of duels in mid, but it's not too much. Like in Breeze, you can really get hit from everywhere, and it's so open and wide. I think Ascent has just a perfect mix of everything, honestly. And I quite like the doors. I think there's quite a good amount of outplayability that you could do with the doors, and yeah, there's not much I can complain about Ascent, honestly. I don't think I've ever seen someone get Ascent and then get mad that they got it. This is one of those maps that you're always fine with getting, basically. So yeah, I think S tier is good for that. I think it's just I might not think it's like S tier if you go like out of quality, like necessarily. Like I think it could be, I guess, improved. Like I don't think it's like the perfect map, right? But in Valorant right now, I think it's quite perfect. I don't think any map is better, at least. That's like what I'm going off right now. So like D tier, I wouldn't call that like the worst map you can make, or C tier, like very, very, very trash map. But I would just call it something that's like, out of the Valorant maps, it's pretty bad. Bind. Now, I used to really like Bind. Bind was my favorite map once. Then it goes in periods for me. Like first I really, really like Bind. You think it's D tier? Yeah, I might agree with you, honestly, because I think it totally depends on your team. Like if you have a good team, then you're fine, but it's not that fun in like when you solo queue and stuff, because you're gonna get ran over a lot. Like, yeah, I don't know, honestly. I used to, like I said, I hated it at first, then I loved it, then I hated it. Now I'm kind of in between, honestly. I don't think it's D though. I don't think it's D. I think it's, do I like it better than Breeze? Probably. I probably like it better than Breeze, honestly. I think Breeze is the most boring map. I think so. I think it's so hard to like get into sites on Breeze. Like, at least on Bind, like on A site, if you just smoke truck, you smoke like below truck, or like you just wall off. C and B, yeah, I think it's somewhere in between. If I could put it in between, I would. I might put it in B though. I think B is fair, because if you have a good team, it's really, really fun actually. I think doing defaults on the map is really fun, because you can rotate quite quickly with the teleporters. I think holding sites is, yeah, I just think it's okay, right? Like I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's that good. I think B is fine. Haven. What do I think of this map? I used to love it. Now I'm like, eh. I think it's fun once again. Like if you have a good, this really relies on your comp. Like if you have a good team comp, then you're golden. But if you happen to not have smokes, then you're basically just screwed. You can't do much without smokes. And I do think it's pretty balanced though. Like I don't think people say it's attacker sided, right, because of the 3 sides. But I'm not sure, like, it might be a bit, but at the same time I feel like the rotations are quite quick. Yeah, Haven is probably one of my favorites actually too. I think it could be A tier, because I think it's pretty balanced in like how it... Yeah, I think it's pretty balanced, but it's not S tier though, because Ascent, you can basically succeed with any comp, which I like. I mean, you can do that in like pugs very easily, you can do that with like 5 duelists if you wish. Like I've won Ascent quite big with like 5 duelists. I think it's really good to... It's that map when you solo queue you're the most happy to get, at least like in my experience. When you play with teammates, I mean, it's not necessarily the most fun when you play with teammates. Like it doesn't... I think all the other maps get bumped up a little bit, but Ascent is just still, yeah, as good, I'd say. So it's just like, I think Haven is like, it's as good as Ascent if you have a good team, but if you don't, then it's a bit worse. So yeah, A tier is fine, I think. Okay, Icebox. I think this is gonna be controversial actually. I think this is gonna be controversial because everyone used to hate on Icebox. Like everyone just, well, from my experience at least, most people hated on Icebox a lot. And I see where they're coming from, I do. But I just like recently, I've just been playing really good on Icebox. I think holding sides on Icebox, defending is quite annoying. Like I think it's attacker sided, I'm pretty sure it is. I think holding A is, it can be a nightmare, rather it can be. But at the same time, I don't feel like... Yeah, I think it is pretty easy to play in like solo queue and pretty easy to play in team play or like when you queue with people. I would actually put this A as well. I honestly would, because I've totally changed my mind on Icebox. I used to, like, ask me 3 months ago, I would have put it in D. Honestly, 100% I would. But now Icebox is, it's one of my favorites. I think it is. I would call it one of my favorites. I would definitely, every day of the week, I would put it above. I'll put it above Breeze and Bind. I don't know what you guys think, but yeah, I think it's a really good map actually. I think the close quarters aim duels, it's really fun. It depends on your team, but attacking on this map is really fun. I've done a lot of good strategies, like, so yeah, I think attacking on this map is really fun. I don't think defending is as fun, but I think it's still like, it's still fine. I don't mind it on defense either. But yeah, attack, it's super fun. Split, I remember people used to hate on this map a lot. I think people still do. I think people still hate this map, like, a lot. I'm not sure why. Honestly, I'm not sure why. I don't understand it fully. I think it's like, if you get it on defense, or if you start on attack, I mean, it's very defender sided, right? So if you start on attack, you're basically just screwed. Unless you make like a huge comeback, you're screwed. But I do think it's fun, like... Yeah, I think it's fun. I think it's actually fun. I think it's viable, like, in solo queue and when you're queuing with people. We're basing this off of ranked play, by the way. We're not basing this off of anything else, because, yeah, I don't play in a team or anything like that. Pro play. In pro play, though, I would say that I think split in pro play is like A tier, but split when you're just queuing ranked, I would put it like in between these two, but I can't, so I'm just gonna put it in B. I think it's worse than... Wait, do I? No, honestly, can I switch this around? Okay, I can. So honestly, I think it is better than Bind. I do. I think it's better than Bind. I think if you start attacker, it's just not fun at all, right? I think it's very coin flippy. Like, if you have good lucky, like if you start as a defender, then you're just gonna roll the other team, like you're gonna totally destroy them. But if you don't, then it's not as fun, right? But yeah, I think you can really have some really good games with this. I think I would say most of the time I'm happier if I get split than I am Bind. I think so. I remember when I played this game, like when I started it in beta, all my friends were like, oh no, split, it's the worst map in the game. And I was like, what's so bad about it? Like, I didn't see what's so bad about it. But yeah, I think people tend to hate on this map a bit too much. I think it's pretty solid, actually. I do. I think it's pretty fun. Bit coin flippy, but it's good either way. Alright, so that's my Valorant map tier. You guys can comment what you think. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? I think that all maps in the game are fine. I don't have a map that I really dislike. Like from CS, there were tons of maps that I just didn't like at all. But in Valorant, I think all maps are pretty fine. I don't think any one of these are like exceptional, but I think everyone is fine. I'm not mad if I get any one of these. But yeah, it all kind of depends on the meta and stuff as well. I think sometimes you're happier to get one map than you are some other time. So yeah, it depends totally actually. But I think this is a pretty accurate representation of what I think. I would like, maybe ask me like 2 weeks ago, I would probably put Icebox S tier. But now like, yeah, I was way too hyped on Icebox for like a period of time. But I still think it's a good map though. I think it's a really good map. So yeah, what do you guys think? Let me know.